Hi friends, Berges back again today. Do you have some friends that you notice tend to follow everything that their family does? They follow every family tradition, do everything the same way, and it seems like they have more potential than that. Have you heard of men going their own way? What about women going their own way? Well, today I want to talk about people going their own way. Because I think that all of us can do our own thing, can break the mold, can be successful in overcoming the past, getting past the stuff that holds us back, and being different, radiantly different than our family, still caring about them, but moving on and making our own unique statement. You know, oftentimes many of us have had a past that's not stellar, it's not perfect, dealing with family members that might have not have been the healthiest, and trying to overcome some of the past situations that we've had to deal with. And one of the ways that you can go your own way that I find is to begin with forgiving the folks that were involved, but also forgiving yourself for being in the situation. You know, it's interesting because when you look back at the past, as far as from a therapist's perspective, I see that a lot of us are plagued by past issues. The things that happened in our past, the things that we had really no control of because we were a young child, and often those things seem to define who we are as adults. But I feel that the healthiest of adults are the adults that overcome that because they realize that life is way more important than being defined by your past and figuring out how to better your situation. One of the things that I did from a personal response is that the things that I wasn't happy with and the things that, well, kind of scar us as children and make us adults that either deal with abandonment or we're scared or whatever it is, I realized that it was time to forgive those situations. And it was time to examine it and actually declare the fact that I was going to not only let this go, but also forgive my participation in the situation. You know, another thing about, being your own person and going your own way is honestly moving forward, moving on. You know, we didn't really pick, for the most part, our family. We didn't choose to have a dysfunctional family or an abusive father or an alcoholic mother that made us feel bad, that helped us create a negative broken record in our mind that makes us feel lesser than or unself-accepting or having a low self-esteem. So I feel that at our time in our life now, no matter what your age, it's time to begin to move on. It's time to begin to move on by realizing that you owe it to yourself to actually see the qualities within you and to let go of the dysfunction that does not define you and never defines you, and also to let go of that stuff that actually holds you back from being the amazing, purpose-filled, purpose-driven person that you can be. You know, the next definition I think about moving on, going your own way, is not forcing relationships in your life that don't give you joy. I find that oftentimes because we've known somebody for a long period of time, because they're our parents, because they're family members, because they raised us, we feel as though we have to hold on to all these relationships. And be aware, I'm not advising you to just cut off people, cut off ties right now and never speak to them again. But what I am declaring is that if the relationship is not currently working and there's a lot of water under the bridge, the first way to open communication and to see if this person really needs to be in your life is to have a deep conversation, if possible. If that is not possible and you feel that that is not going to actually come to fruition because of their anger issues or alcoholism or what have you, then I advise that you really want to question if spending a lot of time with them is really fortunate or if it actually holds you back. You know, I think also speaking our truth is something that we intimately need to do with people, because until we speak our truth and explain how we feel, how the past made us feel, and how the situation really kind of make us, be a certain way or act a certain way, I think it's a good idea to speak it, to formulate those words and sentences. If you do not have the ability to talk to that person directly because they will not listen to you, they will not respond, they're avoiding you, or they're angry, is to speak your truth to yourself, to start a journal and to begin to write down things that might have happened in the past, to really look at those things and to analyze what can I do to change the future. Because like I've talked about on previous shows and on my radio show, unfortunately, I don't have a time machine. And I can't help you or I go back to the past to make changes. But what we can do is we can formulate changes right now to change what happens in our future. When we actually take responsibility for our current situation, our day-to-day life, and our present moment, we're able to figure out, what can I do right now, what can I change right now, and what actions can I put into action to make positive changes in my life. You know, some of the relationships in your life will eventually get mended, some will not. Some relationships just do not provide joy on any level, and no matter how much you work, and no matter how much you try to people please, you still feel basically thrown to the side and thrown to the wolves. And when you have those types of relationships in your life, they just bring you down. And so I suggest now, if you have one of those relationships, is to begin to forgive that person, to take them away from their definition. So if it's mom or dad, one of the best things you can do is take them away from that definition, because our parents we put on a high pedestal, and because we do this, we affirm or feel that they have to be a parenting type person. They have to have those qualities and traits of a loving, caring person. But when you kind of just let them be whatever their first name is, for example, if your dad's name is Michael, he's Michael now, and allow Michael to be a person, to forgive his past issues, his indiscretions, and to allow Michael to be a person and to actually seem or try to have a relationship with him as a normal human being. It's amazing how we will forgive some of the stuff that our friends did, but we find it hard to forgive our relatives for doing the same thing. You know, another thing that I advise you to do if you want to go your own way is believing in yourself and believing that your way will be constructive. You know, oftentimes we lack that self-respect because we've been told that we're no good, or we're lesser than, or why can't we be a better person, or why can't we be smarter or taller or more beautiful. But it's time to embrace you. And how do you begin to believe in yourself? You begin to love yourself. And I'm not talking about, oh, compassion, or, oh, I like myself when I do this or that. It's about honest, unadulterated love, meaning that you care about yourself, you take care of yourself, you fix dinner for yourself, you clean up your house for yourself, you spending time with you and getting to know who you are. Like you've heard me say a dozen times, you come in on this life on your own and you leave on your own. So it means that we're supposed to figure out who we are, and that might actually be the most important relationship we have in our life, correct? The way we feel about ourselves directly impacts how we feel about others. So if we honestly love ourselves and take care of ourselves, we will not allow people in our life who run over us, who disrespect us, who don't care about us. Instead, we don't have time for that in our life anymore. And we begin to let go of those non-joyful relationships and add relationships in our life that bring us joy, that we have commonality, that we both raise each other up instead of putting one another down. Last but not least, about going your own way. Men going their own way and women going their own way is to create your own perspective, choosing your own life, and finding that genuine love. And that begins by allowing yourself to let go of what you were taught as a kid, allowing yourself to make your own decision for what a family is, for what a good marriage is, if you want to be married, if you don't want to be married, if you want to have children, if you don't want to have children, because none of that actually matters. You being happy is defined by your happiness. You having a successful life is defined by what your success is in your life. It's not defined by past, it's not defined by your parents, and it's not defined by societal values. It's defined by you. When you go your own way, that means that you make your own decisions, you formulate your own perspective, and you're happy, and you feel healthy, and you feel secure in your own skin. And you let go of any negative stuff that has plagued you for your lifetime, and you let go of those negative family members or people that are no longer providing joy to your life and are not adding to your quality of life. I hope you can go your own way. Find happiness in that. Find other people who relish in that fact as well. And every day you're creating a new perspective and finding that self-love that will radiate to the others that you meet in your life, and in turn, you will love them as well. Thanks for watching this video, and please like it if it really impacted you, and even more so, leave a comment. Love to hear your comments and your perspective. And don't miss out on the other videos on this channel as well, helping you find your true self, find your true calling, finding that real happiness, not the fake kind, and also overcoming some of the obstacles that might be actually in your life right now. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it, and I like the fact that I get to hear your perspective And I like to have a conversation with my viewers because it really impacts me, because you're not only viewers, you are my friends. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I hope that you're living your true life.